In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how you can create YouTube thumbnails like this for yourself using Canva. The very first step that you'll need to do is obviously get Canva if you don't have it already. There's a free version and also there's a premium version, which is about $15 per month, which you can cancel anytime. In this video, some of the elements and features will be part of the paid version, but I will have free alternatives and options for you as I go along. But also, if you want to have a 30-day free trial of the premium version of Canva Pro, I'll have a link in the description. You can use my affiliate code and you can get 30 days for free and unlock all the features and practice this yourself and follow along. So the first thing to do once we're inside of Canva is to go from the home page and go up to here where it says create a design. Click that one and go down to the bottom here where it says custom size. And we want to choose a size that's good for YouTube thumbnails. And with the width and height, I like to use 1920 by 1080. Once we have that selected, we can hit create new design. Now that we're in our workspace, we can start from building our YouTube thumbnail. And the very first step into building our YouTube thumbnail is sourcing a background. The great thing about Canva is we can go down onto the left-hand side here under elements. The topic for this one that we're going to be doing is day trading. So we're going to look for stock charts. Once you've got the idea of the topic of the background and the thumbnail that you'd like to choose from, you can go down to this tab here of photos and it's going to sort all by images. Then you can just scroll through and find an image that you like to use. Also for backgrounds as well, there's a tab down here that says background. You can select that one and source through some different type of backgrounds. If you don't want a certain type of background, a bit more plain, so you like patterns, you can get abstract patterns. Once you've found a background that you like, you can click on it and it will bring it into the canvas. Once it's in here, we want to fill out the background, so we can right click on the image and go set as background. Then we want to be able to blur the background. As here, it's got a little bit of blur in the image, but I want to make it more blurry because we're putting elements in front of it and we don't want the background to be a distraction of what the main thing we're trying to display in the thumbnail is. So what we can do is make sure our image is selected by clicking on it, go up to the top here and you'll see edit image. Then you want to navigate to here, it says blur. And then we have two options of way to blur the image. We can blur it manually by clicking this blur option here, and we can click and drag elements and it'll blur those parts of the image. So you click show original, that's the blur effect that we just did. Then we have the restore tool here, which if you're just going back over the blur that we just did, that's going to restore the blur that we did just then. But for in our case, we want to blur the entire image so it all has a subtle blur. So what we can do is we can click the auto button here and it's going to give us one slider, which is the intensity slider. So as we go further, it gets more blurry. As we come back, it becomes more clear, and click apply. Now the next thing we need to do is do a cutout of a person in the image or the person who's in the thumbnail. Now you can do this by uploading your own images of yourself and then cutting them out with this effect. So click on this image and that brings in our guy pointing. If you wanted to use your own images, you go to upload here and you would upload your media, drag an image that you've taken of yourself, and then you can do the same process of removing the background. First off, we can see that he's not cut out and he's pointing the wrong way. So we're going to fix that by doing, firstly, clicking on the image. What we can do is we can go up to the top here where it says flip, and we can flip it horizontal. That's going to flip our image so he's pointing to the right way that we want him to. Next, we want to make sure he's selected again, and we want to go to edit image. And then on the left-hand side here, you're going to see background remover. As you can see, this is a pro version. It's got the little crown here, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel already on how to do this process of removing the background for free. There'll be a card on the top of the video here if you want to learn how to do that for free by using the free version of Canva. There's some alternatives I've shown in that video, and then you can come back and follow along after you remove the background for your image in that video. Since we've got the pro account, we're just going to click this, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring us into this area here where it's just going to automatically remove the background for us, just like magic. As you can see, it did an amazing job of removing the background just by one click. That's why I love Canva for that feature. It is just a good time saver. I don't have to go around cutting things out and spending a lot of time. So we can hit apply. Then we have our subject cut out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to crop him up a little bit like that. So the next thing we want to do is add a glow around us or our subject to make them pop from the background a bit better. So what we can do is make sure our subject is selected. Go up to the top here, it says edit image. Scroll down until we find the glow effect here under shadows. Then what we want to do is double click that one to enter into the settings here. And what we can do is we can turn our transparency all the way up, and our size, we can expand that. It's black at the moment, so what we want to do is we want to change that to a white, which gives us a glow effect. We can turn down the blur a bit. We can scale down the size, take the transparency down a bit, and you can kind of tweak this as much as you like. That's the kind of glow effect there that we've got. But if you wanted a solid color, you can do that as well. You can just turn all the blur off, turn the transparency all the way up, turn the size up a bit, and you'll get a solid white line if you like that look as well. So what we're gonna do next is he's gonna be pointing at a stock chart. So this is an image that we've gotten from a external website, a screenshot. So what we can do is we can upload any elements or things that we need under the upload section. And what we can do is we can crop the image to make it a bit nicer and a bit more in frame. Get rid of the parts that we don't want quite easily just by dragging the sides of the image just like this. So we're gonna add some effects to make it stand out a bit better and look more in place within the thumbnail. So we're gonna make sure it's selected, go up to edit image, scroll down until we find the shadow section here. I'm gonna double click on the drop shadow. And I like the drop shadow how it is here, but if you do wanna change it, there are some options to change the direction of the shadow. So you can go top right, and there's a whole bunch of different ones here. And you can also change the offset, how far away and close away it is from the image. Also the angle of the shadow, the transparency of how much you see it and how dark it is. And you can also change the blur so it fades a lot away or it's a lot sharper here. And you can click the reset. And if you like to change the color, you can do that as well if you want to have a different colored drop shadow. I'm gonna hit reset and just have it how it is stock, which I kind of like. So I'm gonna click apply. Then we're gonna double click on the glow effect. And we have similar controls in here of size, transparency, and blur. At the moment it's black, so we're gonna change that to a white color. And there we can see the actual glow. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the size down. We're gonna make the transparency to 100 to make it stand out a lot. And we're gonna make the blur come down to about 1. I'm gonna scale it down a little bit by dragging the corner, and we're gonna work on our next part, which is the text. So for a text, all we do is go to the text section down here, click on that, and what we can do is we can just click on any of these texts right here. Then to move it around, we can use this little button here to drag our text around. We can also scale it up a different size. This isn't the text that you want to use. We can change that. We can go select all, go up to the top here. I like this Babus text for YouTube thumbnails. It's just really bold and stands out. Then we can change our size by dragging the corners out. So the topic of this video and thumbnail would be how to win your first trade. So we're going to type that in. So our text is pretty fine like this, but we're going to make it pop out a little bit better with some extra little tweaking and effects. So we're going to make sure our text is selected. Go up to the top here where it says effects, and there's a bunch of effects to choose from here, like neon glow. You can add a background, a glitch effect. There's all different ones you can experiment and make with your own thumbnails designs. And you can also stack these effects, which I'm going to show you an example of that. So this one's called lift. So I'm going to select that one. And it's very subtle, but it adds a bit of darkness to the back of the text. As you can see here, if I drag it, it gets a bit darker or a bit lighter. So I'm going to drag it up a bit, make it a bit darker, separating it from the background. So then what we want to do is we want to click on our text and we want to Control C for copy, then Control V for paste. And then we've got a second version of our text. It has an effect on it at the moment. So we want to go to effects here and we want to change that effect to neon. And we want to turn that all the way down to intensity of 1. And then we've got this glowing effect here. Then we can drag this, and to match it up perfectly, it will just automatically snap to our other text there and perfectly aligns it. So at the moment it's too bright, kind of covering the text. So we can go up here where it says transparency, and we can bring that all the way down to either 0 or 100. So you can figure out which is a sweet spot to give it that extra nice little glow effect, maybe 27. Now we're just going to copy our text and do the exact same thing with a different color in our headline. So we want to make sure we copy this text here. So we're going to go Control C, Control V, then we can just line this back up. Once we're done with this, we can drag this over and right click and hit group or Control G. And now these are locked together. Also, if you want to ungroup them, you can just right click and ungroup them as well. Here's our second line of text. So we're going to fill that out, and we want to do the same process, but first we're going to change the color of the text. Select all of the text here, go up to the color of the A here, and we're going to choose a green color. Now we can do the same process of Control C, Control V to paste, align our text, come over to neon, bring it down to 1, and go over to our transparency effect and bring that down to about 27 as well. And already that's looking a bit better. And we can align our subject to size to fit, scale up our chart. As you can see right now, he is behind our image. So to fix that, we can click him, right click, and we can go bring to front. Now he's in front of this chart and he's pointing directly at a point. Now we're just going to search for a couple of extra elements for the video. We're going to look for a circle effect. And what we can do is we can sort by graphics. and we can sort through any of these circles that we like. I like this glowing circle effect. So I'm going to put the point of interest right there where his finger's pointing to. And then we're just going to search for money. So this one, I'm going to use this bag of cash here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down and we can scale it down a bit. And you can see this little rotation button. We can rotate it, fit it into the corner. We can also edit this and give it a little bit of a shadow as well. And there we go. That's the final result of the thumbnail. Quick and easy, and you can get a quality looking thumbnail within Canva and make all different variations. Another great feature about Canva is they have a bunch of templates to choose from. So from your home page, if you go to templates, and if you type in YouTube thumbnail, they have a bunch of templates ready to use. And a lot of these are pro ones. There's some free ones here, like this is a free version one. This is a free version one, and you can customize these to your liking. So this one here, which is kind of similar, it's about sort of like money. So there's all these different templates just to pick and choose from and swap out your elements to do quick and easy as well. So you don't have to make them from scratch. So if you want to start from a template, you can click on this one here. This one's a free version, and you go customize this template. And then you've got the layout set up for you, ready to go. Just swap out an image for yourself, the text, the background, and you're good to go. So I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you very much for watching.